Bitcoin is at $18,400. Just to give you a little reality check, only a couple years ago, this price level seemed completely impossible. Even in 2017, when we were reaching these levels at $18,000, $19,000, or even almost $20,000, people thought that the market was completely irrational, that what was happening was not sustainable, and that this was a bubble that was inevitably going to pop and crash all the way down, some people even saying to zero. However, now here we are a couple years later, and Bitcoin is back again at $18,500. And we're seeing barely any coverage about this. If you look at mainstream media, they aren't even pointing this out or batting an eye to it, which is really significant because it shows how normalized this price level has become and how sustainable the market has shown it to be, as well as this demand was not just something that was temporary back in 2017, but it's something that is coming back and may exceed the previous all-time high demand of $20,000. So this is very significant. However, the one dilemma that I've seen many people in is this thing of they've sort of been monitoring Bitcoin throughout this bearish period, or maybe they saw Bitcoin back in 2017, they never really purchased it, they saw it over the past couple of years, they were never really sure, when Bitcoin was going to go up again, so they never really bought any. However, now they're looking at the price of Bitcoin, $18,500, and they're like, oh my gosh, I'm missing out, right? It's the case of FOMO that sort of propelled the markets to the all-time highs in 2017. And I do not blame you, right? I think this is still a very early stage if this does become the next bull run. And so you do need to think about what your plan is and what type of opportunities you're going to try to take advantage of in the potential for another bull run in the cryptocurrency markets. And so a lot of times during these massive growth periods in whatever asset or industry that you're looking at, the best investment tends not to be the main spotlight investment. So maybe if you think that oil prices are going to go up for whatever reason, maybe the best trade is not oil, but maybe it's an oil company, or maybe it's an oil refinery. Maybe it's the company that creates the machines for oil refineries, or whatever it may be. A lot of times the best trades are hidden and out of the spotlight, and they can actually give you even better returns than the main asset itself. So that's sort of what I'm going to try to tell you and explain to you today. I'm going to give you an investment that I'm personally making in the cryptocurrency space as an alternative to my existing investments in Bitcoin, Ethereum, and some of the largest cryptocurrencies, which I have on a hard wallet that I'm holding long term and that I've had, since a price of something like $2,000 in the Bitcoin markets. But this is for the people who maybe feel like they've missed out, or they'd like to enter an existing larger position into the market, such as myself, right? I still want to put a little bit more money into these markets, and this is how I'm going to be doing it. So first off, you might be wondering, well, what is this alternative investment? Are you just going to shill me another altcoin? Well, as a lot of you know, especially on this channel, if you look back at some of my older videos, I do particularly dislike a lot of altcoins. I believe that even within these top 10 alternative cryptocurrencies right here, I would say that probably 5 or 6 of them are complete scams or are not what they advertise themselves to be. What ends up happening a lot in the cryptocurrency space is instead of offering a legitimate product, so let's say that I'm selling candy and I have a stock on the stock market. Instead of selling candy, what a lot of these companies will do is they will just advertise their stock to investors to make them think that they're selling candy, so then their stock goes up in value, when in reality, maybe I'm only selling like 10 lollipops a day, right? So you have these companies in the cryptocurrency space that are maybe only making, hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, but they have market caps of hundreds of millions of dollars or whatever it may be, right? A lot of stuff is inflated and not necessarily justified. And so the biggest opportunity for me in the cryptocurrency space, something that I really like to invest in, I like to find legitimate altcoins that actually have a real use case that I believe the hype cycle will catch up to. If you look at cryptocurrency markets, they're very cyclical, meaning that a lot of the time, as I mentioned before, people aren't investing in these altcoins due to some good fundamental news. They're more just investing into it because they think there's going to be a lot of hype there. And so there tends to be a lot of opportunity for investors to try to identify the next cryptocurrencies that are going to garner a lot of hype, invest into those, and then reap the benefits when the hype cycle comes into those coins and propels them upwards. And this is what we saw a lot of back in 2017 when there was the whole entire altcoin boom. And so if you look at some of these cryptocurrencies, and the one I'm going to show you is not the one I'm recommending in this video, I will mention it in just a second, but if you look at a cryptocurrency such as Golem, this is a cryptocurrency that greatly benefited back in 2017, saw humongous growth, as you can see from this chart, all the way up to around $1 from, before the boom, around 4 cents. This is absolutely ginormous. It saw enormous gains. However, right now, this coin is still at around 10 cents. So a lot of these altcoins are still severely depressed. The only ones that have really caught up to this new hype coming back into the market are maybe the top 10, the top 20 coins. Maybe there are a few outliers here and there, but a majority of the smaller altcoins still haven't really caught up to these trends. So that's the main thing that I'm looking at. So when I was thinking of what altcoin do I believe is still depressed, however, offers a legitimate product that I believe will garner a lot of hype, the first one I immediately thought of was the Brave browser. And if you don't know what the Brave browser is a privacy/security focused web browser with an additional benefit being its built-in ad blocker and its use of its cryptocurrency, the basic attention token. And I also want to preface this by saying I would argue that a majority of users of the Brave browser maybe don't utilize the currency too much. However, I still think it's a very interesting, legitimate use case and potential solution that could be adopted more and more over time. I know personally, I am much more in the cryptocurrency space. And so of course, I have been utilizing the actual functionality of the cryptocurrency. And I know firsthand that it works relatively well with a couple of bugs here and there. So what does the basic attention token do? Well, basically with the built-in ad blocker on the Brave browser, the whole idea of Brave is to democratize the whole advertising market. So instead of a website being able to make money by showing you an ad, what Brave does is it rewards you for surfing the internet and going on different websites. And then through the rewards that you accrue through going through the internet, you are then able to tip websites a certain amount of BAT token, however much you want, per visit that you go on their website. So basically it's an alternative to advertising, so you can still support the websites that you love while not having to be bombarded by ads that are tracking you or ads in general that might hinder your experience of the internet. And so if you look here, these are the Google trends for the Brave browser. You can see that this is a legitimate product as its hype is completely uncorrelated from the cryptocurrency markets. Even though Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, overall, everything's gone down in value, the Brave browser search interest, meaning the number of people going on Google and searching for this browser, has been steadily increasing. In fact, just recently in November of 2020, it is substantially going up and potentially could reach new all-time highs soon in terms of interest online looking for the Brave browser. And I would say that this is definitely backed up by major trends in the market, such as privacy-focused browsing. A lot of people are worried about different websites stealing their information, etc. In addition to the fact that many people want ad blockers now, and I think there's a huge benefit to having sort of this alternative to using an ad blocker while still supporting the websites and content creators that you are consuming. Now, I didn't just look at the Google Trends for Brave browser, I also looked at the trends for their app, as I personally actually use this on my phone much more than I do on my own personal computer. So if you look at the app rankings for the Brave web browser app, you can see here that in US utilities category on the App Store, on Tuesday, November 10th, it was ranked number 47. So you can see here, yes, it's not ranked number 1 on top charts of the global app store. However, under US utility apps, it is still ranked relatively high. And while this doesn't show that it's going to be competing with Google or the Chrome web browser anytime soon, it still shows that there is a consistent number of people downloading and utilizing this application. And this is shown not only on the Google Trends, but also on the App Store rankings, in addition to the Android rankings, where under US communication applications, they rank number 13. And on US applications overall, they rank number 200. So again, these are not, out of this world rankings, but they're still substantial rankings showing that there are users going to this app and enjoying this app and continuously downloading this app. Not only are the trends looking very good for the Brave browser, but actual user data is looking good as well. In fact, just recently, there have been a couple of articles that have come out stating that the Brave browser has more than doubled its users in the past year or so. So that also shows that not only are there trends towards the Brave browser of people continuously downloading, searching, and looking for the browser itself, but the number of active users using the app throughout the year and replacing their existing browser with Brave has also grown as well, significant amounts. This is a doubling of their user base in the past year. And if you look at the price of the BAT token, which, to be fair, this is not equity in the Brave company itself, but a lot of times in the cryptocurrency markets, the price will still be semi-correlated to positive news relating to whatever product it's trying to advertise. However, here you can see that it hasn't really reacted whatsoever to this significantly positive news. So the opportunity that I see here is to have a much lower potential downside when investing in the basic attention token. So when I entered my position, personally, the level that I am looking at where I'm going to reconsider or potentially place a stop loss, although I do tend to be very, very careful, especially in volatile markets with a stop loss, is around 18 to 19 cents, depending on where you feel the most comfortable. So here you're able to have a much more limited downside than Bitcoin or Ethereum when investing in the cryptocurrency markets, while having that humongous potential upside in the altcoin markets of going up to potentially 85 cents that it reached during the previous altcoin bull run. However, due to the fact that we have this positive fundamental news behind the token as well, in my opinion, that limits the downside even more. I think that even if there was a crash in the overall cryptocurrency markets, BAT would be one of the least affected tokens, as well as the fact that with this positive news, the potential for it to go up during an altcoin hype cycle is also much higher as well, as you have a lot of this positive fundamental news behind it. So once people start covering it, once people start looking for altcoins to invest in, that could propel it to even higher levels than it reached back in 2017. And of course, I'm not a financial advisor. This is all my opinion. This is all my own personal research. And this is also my own personal risk tolerance. And I guarantee that you are going to have different strategies and risk tolerance than I do. So I highly recommend that you only take this information into consideration when thinking about what position you're going to enter, and do not blindly just follow anyone on the internet. However, with that being said, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope that you've learned something about the basic attention token. Maybe you'll now at least take a look at it, and see you in the next one.